Hey, Change 3. We're looking at 9-6 analyzed data today on page 302. So at the top of the page, they start with some data and a line plot. Hopefully you remember a little bit about line plot. You've got a line going from left to right, and the X's above the numbers represent particular data. In this case, they're talking about temperature. So I want to draw your attention to the vocab in the middle of the page. There are three highlighted words: clusters, gaps, and outliers. So let's take a look at each of those. Clusters, it says in the book, are places on the line plot where several X's occur very close together. So, as you can see, there is a data cluster right here around 3. 3 has the most X's, and then there's a good bit of data that bunches around that. The next one is gaps. Gaps are large places on the line plot where no data occurs. So you can see that between 5 and 10, it's 6, 7, 8, and 9, there's no data. And so that is considered a gap. So it's an empty space. And the last one is outlier. You might remember that term. Outliers are numbers set apart from the rest of the data. And so you can see that 10 is out here all by itself. And so that would be considered an outlier. It's not close to or attached to the rest of the group. So they want to point out to you at the first orange arrow that outliers can affect the measure of central tendency of the data set. Remember, that is specifically mean, median, and mode. So looking at the bottom of the page, you can see that when they use the outlier to find the mean, they end up with 3.9. Dropping down a little farther, when they don't use the outlier of 10 to find the mean, it is 3, which is much closer to the mean and mode posted there also. So outlier definitely affects the mean in this situation. Okay, taking a look at page 303, you've got numbers 1 to 8 to do, and that includes 5 questions about the quiz scores line plot over to the top right, and then 2 questions about the school library book collections line plot sort of to the middle right of our page. Make sure that as you're doing your work, you go back to those definitions of outlier, gap, and cluster back on page 302, and those should help you out quite a bit. You'll do the same kind of work on page 111, and that's numbers 1 to 6 on page 111 in your workbook. So let me know if you have any problems or any questions. Feel free to email me at any time, and I'll get back to you real quick and help you out. Other than that, have a great day. Stay healthy. See ya.